I am sick of politics. I am well and truly, absolutely, positively sick to the back teeth of politics. I'm sick of the woke brigade. I'm sick of the anti-woke brigade. I'm tired of the whole slop cycle. I'm done with all of it. It's boring. And I long to return to a time where politics was seen as a boring subject. Do you remember a time like that? Do you remember, if you're old enough? I don't know if the Zoomers are old enough to remember a time like this. Probably not, to be honest. But I'm just old enough to remember a time where politics didn't absolutely dominate every single aspect of life and every conversation that you seem to enter into. Because it seems now you can start off by talking about any random subject and somehow it will circle back to politics. It'll circle back to what the current government is doing. Oh, what's Donald Trump doing? Oh my God. Or in this country, the Labour Party are doing this. I'm just done with it. I'm just done with this apocalyptic thinking that people have now, where the entire future of everything, it all hinges on this minor issue that people are obsessed with this week. The current thing that everybody's, throwing their arms up in the air about and flapping their hands about and getting all hysterical over, that nobody's going to remember in a couple of weeks' time. This is the big thing that everyone has to be, everyone has to put their whole lives on hold for. And people's opinions are always so shallow, and they're always rooted right in the moment, like the present moment. Nobody can see, nobody can imagine what's going to happen in the future, and everybody seems to project their current day values onto people from the past. And if you went back, if you time travelled back to the past, to 100 years ago, and started talking about current issues that we have, expecting them to fully agree with you, chances are they would probably just stare at you in absolute bewilderment. They wouldn't have a clue what you were talking about. And, this insistent kind of, people from the past will absolutely agree with me because I'm trad. I'm trad, bro. I'm a trad cath or whatever. I'm sick of the LARPing. I'm sick of media literacy. People reading into films or cartoons or comic books or whatever that, this is in line with my worldview, not yours, mine. The cartoon character would agree with me. You don't understand. It's I don't know. I'm just done with it. I'm over it. I'm completely over it. It's all noise, All these politics channels, all these plebs who fancy themselves as political theorists or political analysts or whatever they choose to tell themselves that they are. Most of these people, quite frankly, they were never meant to do anything more than manual labour. They were never meant to do more than just harvest crops or do back-breaking physical work somewhere, breaking rocks or whatever needs doing. They're not, they're descended from these people. Unless you're a true blue blood and you're a true member of the elite or higher echelons of society or whatever, you're descended from peasants, and you are still a peasant. The only thing is you've got the internet now, and, the internet gives pretty much any idiot a voice, And I'm fully aware of the hypocrisy of me saying that because I'm giving you my thoughts here, so don't bother pointing that out. I do understand. I do see the irony. But these people were... They're not meant, their opinion doesn't carry any weight. Who listens to them? They might have a few thousand subscribers, maybe even a few million, but even that, in a world of 8 billion people, and, a tiny percentage of them actually capable and able to make decisions on a global scale or a nationwide scale or whatever, they're the ones, that call the shots, not you with your little YouTube channel or your Substack or your Twitter or whatever. So I'm just bored of it because it's just this endless cacophony of constant, misreadings of things. That's the thing, is just people just see what they want to see. Nobody sits down and does a true piece by piece analysis of things, or most people don't. They don't. They don't sit down and spend hours, days, weeks analysing something that's taken place, because they don't have time to. They have to get their videos out. They have to get 2 or 3 videos out each day. And that model, and because their income is dependent on it, that model doesn't allow for true analysis. It just they just read the headline, they might skim through the article, and then they'll just jump on their computer, set up the microphone, and be like, "Yeah, this thing has happened. What does this mean? This is what it means. I'm an authority. I know what I'm talking about." It's like, you don't know what you're talking about. You haven't got a clue what you're talking about, because you're a prole. You have no access to any real information. All you have at your disposal is what the elites choose to tell you. Very few things get out without their say-so, without their stamp of approval. Everything gets read through, everything gets edited, and everything is mashed up and shaped for public consumption. And that's what you get. So don't act like you have some sort of unique insight into things when you don't. Now, I'm not talking to anyone in particular. I'm just talking to the political internet, I guess. I hate Redditors, the wokesters, as much as I hate 4chan spurgs, I mean, I'm not, I've never been like woke or anything. I've never been an SJW. I've always been, if you insist on the left-right paradigm, I'm on the right. And I used to be heavily invested in politics. I used to, I would follow, I would subscribe to all the channels, lots of them, like Lotus Eaters. I would check in on Tim Pool and, other ones like that. I've always been kind of averse to slop. There are a lot of slop peddlers, like, it's not so much a thing now, but in this country, and it's still kind of talked about now that we're hurtling towards civil war. This country, and you'd get those mediocre idiots that would just, they were always sat in their car as well, and they would just aim the phone at themselves, and it would just be civil war. Oh, we're heading towards civil war because this MP said this thing or something. It's like, no, we're not heading towards civil war. Look around you. Who here is going to fight a civil war? I look around. What do I see? I don't see strong fighting, able men, able-bodied men. I see boomers. I see fat asses sitting in McDonald's and ordering takeaways all the time, and soy boys. I don't see anybody, barely anybody, who is going to willingly engage in conflict if it should come along. It's not going to happen. If it does happen, it's not going to be for a very long time. I'm thinking 100 years. Like I said, I don't have any special insight. I'm just going off instinct and pattern recognition. I just don't see civil war being imminent, but everybody's insisting on it because that David Betts guy keeps going on about it, and he's just, I'm pretty sure he just works for MI5 or whatever. I think he's Canadian, but he's working for intelligence agencies. Purely instinct telling me that. I don't know for sure, but nobody really knows anything for sure, except for a teeny tiny percentage of people who make the rules and call the shots. And it does upset me to see so many people just being pulled in so many different directions. Like in this country, you've got Tommy Robinson, who is so obviously working for MI5. Like that couldn't be any more obvious. And like I said before, I've said it, I'll say it again, I have no special insight, but instinct is your friend. Instinct is your most powerful ally. Listen to your instincts. Don't just let yourself be bombarded with news and videos on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, wherever you get your quote unquote news from. Don't let it consume you, because I let it consume me for years, and I would get angry. I would get genuinely angry at stuff happening, and stuff does happen in the real world, of course it does, but how does it benefit you to get so upset about things and so angry about things that it genuinely ruins your life. You're getting angry at a screen at the end of the day. You're looking at your phone, you're looking at your computer screen, you're getting angry at code and pixels on a screen. That's what's happening. It's absurd. If you just take a step back and look at it for a few moments, it's absolutely crazy. It would be like, if you were able to see into the past, you go back to ancient Greece or something, and you see some people, they're crowded around, and they're looking at a scroll or something. It's got all the ancient Greek stuff on it, and it's something that they don't like, and they're getting genuinely angry about it. It's like you can kind of understand it, but at the same time, with the benefit of time passing, it just seems pointless and ridiculous. And everything that seems so important to us now, in 100 years, hardly anyone's going to know about it. I mean, what do we know about life 100 years ago? Virtually nothing. We know some of the big names from that time period, but, the average person from back then has absolutely no bearing on what happened now. What happens now. So it's just, I hope that makes sense. I'm tired of all of it. It's all cringe, that woke is cringe, anti-woke is cringe, and like anti-woke is, that's even worse, because they just, well, they're not worse, I shouldn't say that, but the anti-woke side of things is just reacting. All they do is react to what the left does. It's just, look what the left have done now. Look what the woke SJWs and activists have done now. Let's complain about it. That's all it amounts to. It's just noise. It doesn't, I don't know. Society is going in the direction that the decision makers want it to go in, and you have absolutely no say in that whatsoever. I don't like when people say that old NPC soundbite that you can't vote your way out of this, bro, because voting, I don't think it's completely pointless, but it doesn't carry the weight that people think it does. It's really, there is that old saying of, if voting worked, they wouldn't let you do it. Voting isn't voting isn't magic. It's not something that when it happens, that's it, you can't do anything about it. People vote, and sometimes the votes are acknowledged and listened to, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're looked at, and the decision makers say, that's not really what we want, so we're just going to find a way to... They don't, depending on where you live in the world, they're not... If you live in more of a sort of tin pot banana republic type place, then they'll just ignore it and say, yeah, we're going to do what we want. If you live in a more sort of namby-pamby, limp-wristed, neoliberal type place, like the West, then they have to justify their not listening to the vote with all sorts of mealy-mouthed weasel talk and hand-wringing, we can't do this because this and that. We'll work on it, we'll try and get it done, but the system is very... the system can't be changed. Like, it can be changed. All the system is a bunch of people who choose to do what they want to do, and a bunch of arbitrary laws written down on paper. So it can be changed, it can be done, but if they don't want to, they'll find a way to not do what people vote for. So, the whole thing is just a sham. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all... I'm just, I'm done with it. I'm done with all of it. The best advice I can offer is to just let it wash over you. For the most part, you can do that. It's easy to get angry at things and to not like what's happening and stuff. I don't like a lot of what's happening. Well, most of what's happening in my own society. But I can't change it. It can't really be changed, to be honest. Unless you are a genuine sort of mover and shaker. If you're somebody who can set up an organisation and start and is willing to spend years, decades, building up the power, building up the momentum that you need to make serious change way down the line, that's all that can be done. Voting is, voting is just telling somebody what you want. It doesn't mean they're going to listen to you. It doesn't mean they're going to do it. So yeah, just be aware of how fake and gay everything is, and everybody who's offering you answers don't have answers. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I know this was a bit rambly and a bit possibly incoherent at times. I do apologise for that, but hey ho, I'm just an idiot on the internet. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It'd be very much appreciated. You know, all that YouTube jazz, blah, 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 blah. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.